When Michael Jordan walked into the Golden Palace Casino on a hot summer night in 1999, nobody knew this one evening would cost the casino over $200 million. The greatest basketball player in the world sat down at a blackjack table. The dealer was a single mother named Cassandra Hayes. She was struggling to pay for her daughter's medicine. She dealt cards honestly, just like she was trained, and Michael Jordan kept winning. $5,000 became $40,000, then $60,000, then $93,000. The crowd went wild. People cheered every time Jordan won a hand. He stayed calm and focused, playing smart, careful blackjack. But then the casino manager, Vincent Russo, pushed through the crowd. He told Michael Jordan he was too lucky and had to leave. Right there, in front of everyone. They banned Michael Jordan from the casino. Not for cheating, not for breaking rules, just for winning. Jordan could have walked away angry and forgotten about it. He had billions of dollars. $93,000 meant nothing to him, but instead he whispered 7 words to Cassandra that would change everything. "Remember what happened here tonight? I will." What happened next shocked the entire world. Jordan didn't just sue the casino. He didn't just win millions in court. He did something so brilliant, so powerful, that it cost the Golden Palace Casino everything they had. He bought the entire casino building. Then he discovered something dark, a pattern of discrimination against hundreds of players. And his response? It started a movement that changed the gambling industry forever. Watch this whole video to find out exactly what Michael Jordan did, how a scared single mother became a hero, and how one night at a blackjack table led to the most expensive mistake a casino ever made. The Golden Palace Casino blazed like a giant jewel in the Atlantic City night. Lights flashed red, gold, and green across the building's tall windows. Inside, slot machines rang their happy songs. People laughed, cards shuffled, dice rolled across green felt tables. It was August 14th, 1999, and the air felt thick and hot, even with the casino's air conditioning running full blast. Cassandra Hayes stood behind her blackjack table, dealing cards with steady hands. She'd been a dealer for 2 years now. 28 years old, with kind brown eyes and her hair pulled back in a neat bun, she looked calm on the outside. Inside, her stomach twisted with worry. Her daughter Riley needed new asthma medicine. The prescription cost $300. Cassandra had $250 in her bank account. $50 short. Always $50 short of something. "Dealer stands on 17, she said softly, flipping her cards. That's when the whispers started. "Is that him? Oh my God, it's Michael Jordan. MJ is here." Cassandra looked up. Her heart jumped. Walking across the casino floor was the most famous athlete in the world. Michael Jordan wore black pants, a crisp white shirt, and sunglasses even though it was almost midnight. He moved like a king through his castle. People stepped aside. Cameras flashed. Security guards followed close behind. He was heading straight for her table. "Good evening," Jordan said, sliding into the center seat. His voice was smooth and confident. He placed a stack of orange chips on the table. $5,000. Cassandra's hands trembled slightly. Good evening, sir. Welcome to the Golden Palace." Jordan smiled. Not the huge smile from the Gatorade commercials. A smaller, real smile. "Thanks. Let's play some cards." For the next 3 hours, Cassandra dealt. Jordan played with intense focus. He didn't talk much. He didn't show off. He just played smart, careful blackjack, and he kept winning. A crowd grew around the table. 20 people, 50 people, 100 people, all watching the legend play cards. Jordan stayed cool. He won some hands, lost some hands, but mostly he won. Cassandra dealt the cards exactly right. She'd been taught well, never cheat, never help, just deal fair and honest. By midnight, Jordan had turned his $5,000 into $42,000. By 1 in the morning, $68,000. By 2 in the morning, $93,000 sat in neat stacks in front of him. The crowd cheered every time he won. Jordan stayed calm, but Cassandra saw something in his eyes. He was having fun. Real fun. The kind of fun that had nothing to do with money and everything to do with the challenge. Then she saw him. Vincent Russo, the casino manager, pushed through the crowd. He was a short man with slicked back black hair and a permanent frown. His expensive suit couldn't hide his mean spirit. "Mr. Jordan," Russo said loudly. Too loudly, everyone could hear. "I need to speak with you." Jordan looked up slowly. He didn't remove his sunglasses. "I'm in the middle of a hand." "The hand is over," Russo snapped. Cassandra's stomach dropped. She knew that tone. She'd heard Russo use it before, with other players who won too much. "Sir," Cassandra said quietly, "the gentleman is playing fairly." "Be quiet," Russo cut her off. His eyes were cold. Jordan stood up. He was much taller than Russo. The crowd went silent. "What's the problem?" Jordan asked. His voice was calm, but Cassandra heard steel underneath. "You're too lucky tonight, Mr. Jordan. We're asking you to leave." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Someone whispered, "They're kicking out Michael Jordan?" "Too lucky," Jordan repeated. He still hadn't raised his voice. "That's not a real reason. It's our casino, our rules. You need to cash out and go." Russo crossed his arms. The crowd murmured angrily. This wasn't right. Everyone knew it. Jordan stood perfectly still for a long moment. Then he nodded once. "Fine." He gathered his chips calmly, like this happened every day. But Cassandra saw his jaw tighten. She saw his hands grip the chips just a little too hard. Before Jordan turned to leave, he leaned close to Cassandra. The crowd couldn't hear. Russo couldn't hear. He whispered 7 words that would change everything. "Remember what happened here tonight? I will." Then Michael Jordan walked out of the Golden Palace Casino. The crowd parted. Cameras flashed. And Cassandra stood frozen at her empty table, her heart pounding. She had no idea that those 7 words were a promise that would cost the Golden Palace Casino more money than anyone could imagine. A promise that would change her life forever. The promise that would change her life forever. But first, Cassandra had to survive the next 24 hours. She barely slept that night. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Vincent Russo's cold stare. She heard Michael Jordan's whispered words. "Remember what happened here tonight? I will." What did he mean? Would he come back? Would he sue the casino? And why did she feel like she was in trouble when she'd done nothing wrong? Cassandra's small apartment was quiet except for Riley's soft breathing from the bedroom. Her daughter slept peacefully, unaware that her mother's world was spinning out of control. At 6 in the morning, Cassandra's alarm buzzed. She dragged herself out of bed and made Riley breakfast. Cereal with sliced bananas, the cheap kind from the discount store. "Mommy, you look tired," Riley said. She was 7 years old. With her mother's brown eyes and her father's bright smile. The smile that Cassandra hadn't seen on Marcus's face in 3 years. Not since the accident. "I'm okay, baby. Just a long night at work." "Did you meet anyone famous?" Riley asked, swinging her legs under the kitchen table. Cassandra paused. "Actually, yes. Michael Jordan." Riley's eyes went huge. "Michael Jordan? The basketball player? The one and only? Was he nice?" Cassandra thought about that whisper, that promise. "Yes, sweetheart, he was nice." After dropping Riley at school, Cassandra drove to the Golden Palace. Her beat-up Honda coughed and sputtered. The check engine light had been on for 2 months. Another thing she couldn't afford to fix. The casino looked different in daylight. Less magical, more tired. Just a big building that took people's money and sometimes gave a little back. Cassandra walked through the employee entrance, swiped her card, and headed to the dealer's lounge. Her friend Janet was there, already in her uniform. "Girl, I heard what happened last night," Janet whispered. "Is it true they kicked out MJ?" "Yeah, it's true." "That's crazy. He wasn't cheating, was he?" "No, he was just winning." Janet shook her head. "Russo is something else. That man would ban his own mother if she won too much." Before Cassandra could respond, her supervisor, Marcus Chen, appeared in the doorway. Not her husband, Marcus. He was gone. This Marcus looked nervous. "Cassandra, Mr. Russo wants to see you in his office, now." Her stomach turned to ice. "Why?" "Just go. Don't keep him waiting." The walk to Russo's office felt like walking to a cliff's edge. Other employees stared as she passed. They'd all heard about last night. In a casino, gossip spread faster than a wildfire. Russo's office sat on the 3rd floor, overlooking the casino floor. Through the one-way glass, he could watch everything. Everyone. always watching. Cassandra knocked on the door. "Come in," Russo's voice called. She stepped inside. The office smelled like expensive cologne and old cigar smoke. Russo sat behind his massive desk, fingers pressed together like a villain from a movie. "Sit down, Ms. Hayes." Cassandra sat. Her hands felt cold. "Do you know why you're here?" Russo asked. "No, sir." "Don't lie to me. You dealt to Michael Jordan last night." "Yes, sir. I dealt him cards. That's my job." Russo's eyes narrowed. "He won $93,000 at your table. He played well. He was lucky. Too lucky." Russo stood up and walked to the window. "I've been watching the security footage over and over, and I think you helped him." Cassandra's heart hammered. "What? No, I would never." "You were smiling at him, chatting with him, getting friendly." "I smile at all the players. It's part of good customer service." Russo turned to face her. "Michael Jordan is not a regular customer. He's a problem, and dealers who create problems don't work here." Tears stung Cassandra's eyes. "Mr. Russo, please. I dealt fairly. I did everything by the book. You can check every camera angle. I never cheated." "Maybe not, but I don't trust you anymore." He walked back to his desk and pulled out a paper. "You're suspended. 2 weeks. No pay." The words hit like a punch to the stomach. 2 weeks? But I didn't do anything wrong. If you argue, I'll make it permanent. Now get out of my office." Cassandra stood on shaking legs. 2 weeks without pay meant no money for rent, no money for groceries, no money for Riley's medicine. "Mr. Russo, my daughter needs out now." She left. Somehow she made it to her car before the tears came. She sat in the parking lot and cried until her throat hurt. This wasn't fair. None of it was fair. She lost her husband to a drunk driver 3 years ago. Marcus had been driving home from his construction job when a truck ran a red light. Gone in an instant. The drunk driver had good insurance. Marcus didn't. The medical bills from his 2 days in the hospital before he died had buried her in debt. She'd taken the casino job because it paid $12 an hour plus tips. Better than the grocery store, better than the diner, enough to almost survive. Now even that was gone. Cassandra drove home in a daze. She picked up Riley from school, made dinner, spaghetti with jar sauce, helped with homework, gave Riley her breathing treatment for her asthma. All the normal things. All while feeling like her world was crumbling. After Riley went to bed, Cassandra sat at her tiny kitchen table and stared at the bills. Rent, $800 due in 1 week. Electric, $120. Riley's medicine, $300. Groceries, at least $200. She had $250 in checking, $37 in savings. The math didn't work. It never worked. At 9:30 that night, her phone rang. Unknown number. Cassandra almost didn't answer. Probably a bill collector. They called every week now, but something made her pick up. "Hello? Ms. Cassandra Hayes?" A woman's voice. Professional. Kind. "Yes? My name is Bethany Chen. I'm an attorney. I represent Michael Jordan." Cassandra's breath caught. What? "Mr. Jordan would like to meet with you tomorrow. Are you available at 10 in the morning?" "I don't understand. Why does Michael Jordan want to meet with me?" "He'll explain everything tomorrow. Can you meet us at Rosie's Diner on Atlantic Avenue?" Cassandra's mind raced. Was this real? Was this some kind of trick? "Ms. Hayes, are you there?" "Yes, I'm here. Yes, I can meet at 10. "Excellent. Come alone, please." "And Ms. Hayes?" "Yes? Everything is going to be okay." The line went dead. Cassandra sat staring at her phone. Michael Jordan wanted to meet with her. Why? What could he possibly want? She thought about his whispered words again. "Remember what happened here tonight? I will." Suddenly those words felt different. Not like a threat, like a promise. A promise of what, she didn't know. But tomorrow at 10 o'clock, she would find out. Cassandra didn't sleep at all that night. She lay in bed staring at the ceiling, watching shadows move across the walls. Her mind spun with questions. Why would Michael Jordan's lawyer call her? What did they want? Could this be a trap from the casino? Maybe Russo was trying to catch her meeting with Jordan to prove she'd been working with him. At 6 in the morning, she gave up on sleep. She made coffee and sat at the kitchen table, watching the sun rise through her small window. Riley shuffled out of her bedroom at 7, rubbing her eyes. "Mommy, why are you up so early? You don't work today." Cassandra forced a smile. "I have an important meeting, baby. Mrs. Patterson next door is going to watch you for a few hours, okay?" "Is it about a new job?" Riley asked hopefully. She was 7, but she understood more than Cassandra wished she did. She knew money was tight. She knew her mom worried. "Maybe, we'll see." After dropping Riley with her neighbor, Cassandra drove to Rosie's Diner. Her hands gripped the steering wheel so tight her knuckles turned white. The diner was on the edge of town, away from the casinos and hotels. It was the kind of place where locals ate breakfast. Not tourists, not gamblers. Cassandra parked and checked her reflection in the rearview mirror. She'd worn her nicest outfit, a simple blue dress and flats. Her hair was pulled back neatly. She looked professional, she hoped, not desperate even though she was. The diner's bell jingled when she walked in. It smelled like bacon and coffee and syrup. A few people sat at the counter reading newspapers. 2 construction workers ate pancakes in a corner booth. Then Cassandra saw her. A woman in her 40s sat in a back booth, wearing a sharp gray suit. Her black hair was cut short and professional. She looked up when Cassandra entered and smiled warmly. "Ms. Hayes?" She stood and extended her hand. "I'm Bethany Chen. Thank you for coming." Cassandra shook her hand. Bethany's grip was firm and confident. "Thank you for... I'm not sure why I'm here. Please sit. Would you like some coffee?" They ordered coffee and sat across from each other. Cassandra's heart pounded so hard she thought Bethany might hear it. "I know you must have 1,000 questions," Bethany said. "Let me start by explaining who I am. I've been Mr. Jordan's attorney for 6 years. I handle his business contracts, his endorsements, and occasionally situations like this." "Situations like what?" Bethany pulled a folder from her briefcase and set it on the table. "What happened to you at the Golden Palace Casino 2 nights ago was wrong. You were punished for doing your job correctly. Mr. Jordan wants to help you." Tears pricked Cassandra's eyes. "He wants to help me? Why? He doesn't even know me." "He knows enough. You were professional, you were honest, and you were treated unfairly because of him." Bethany opened the folder. "Mr. Jordan has asked me to offer you a position. We'd like to hire you as a consultant for a case we're building against the Golden Palace Casino." Cassandra blinked. "A case? You mean a lawsuit?" "Yes. We believe the casino discriminated against Mr. Jordan. They banned him not because he cheated, he didn't, but because he won, and because of who he is." "But casinos ban people all the time," Cassandra said slowly. "Card counters, cheaters." Mr. Jordan wasn't counting cards. He was playing basic strategy blackjack. Any skilled player can do it. It's not illegal. It's not cheating. It's just smart play. Bethany leaned forward. "The casino banned him because they were losing money to a black man. That's discrimination." The words hung in the air. Cassandra thought about Vincent Russo. She thought about the other dealers' stories. How the casino had banned a Chinese businessman last year for winning at Baccarat. How they'd kicked out a young Latino man for suspicious betting patterns at craps. "What would you need me to do?" Cassandra asked quietly. "Testify. Tell the truth about what happened that night. Describe how you dealt the cards fairly, how Mr. Jordan played by the rules, how Mr. Russo treated both of you." Fear grabbed Cassandra's throat. "If I testify against the casino, they'll fire me for real. They'll make sure I never work in Atlantic City again." "I know it's frightening," Bethany said gently, "but this isn't just about Mr. Jordan. It's about everyone the casino has treated this way." She pulled out more papers from the folder. "Look at these." Cassandra looked down. She saw names, dates, photos of people. "These are 47 people the Golden Palace has banned in the last 5 years, Bethany explained. "All of them skilled players, all of them minorities, Black, Asian, Latino, not one white player on this list." Cassandra's hands trembled as she flipped through the pages. She saw a photo of a young Asian woman. The caption read, "Lin Zhao, engineer, banned for unusual winning patterns at roulette." Another photo showed a black man in his 30s. Devin Jackson, math teacher, banned for suspected card counting. No evidence found. These people did nothing wrong, Bethany said. Just like you did nothing wrong. Just like Mr. Jordan did nothing wrong. The casino has a pattern of discrimination, and we're going to prove it. Cassandra looked up. But I need this job. I have a daughter. She has asthma. Her medicine costs $300 a month. I can't afford to lose my income. Bethany nodded. I understand completely. That's why Mr. Jordan has authorized me to offer you a consulting fee of $5,000 to help with this case. That money is yours whether you testify or not, just for meeting with us today and considering it. $5,000. Cassandra's mind reeled. That was more than she made in 3 months. And if you do agree to testify, Bethany continued, we'll provide additional compensation. $20,000 total, plus legal protection. If the casino retaliates against you, we'll file additional charges against them. $20,000. Cassandra could pay off Riley's medical bills, fix her car, maybe even save a little. But money wasn't everything. Can I ask you something? Cassandra said. Of course. Why does Michael Jordan care so much? He's rich. He's famous. $5,000 or $93,000. It's nothing to him. Why fight this? Bethany smiled. Would you like to ask him yourself? What? The diner's bell jingled. Cassandra turned around. Michael Jordan walked through the door. He wore jeans, a simple black t-shirt, and a baseball cap pulled low. No sunglasses this time. No security guards. Just him. He slid into the booth next to Bethany and looked directly at Cassandra. Hi, he said. Thanks for coming. Cassandra couldn't speak. Her mouth had gone completely dry. Jordan smiled. That real smile she'd seen at the blackjack table. I know this is weird. Famous guy shows up at your breakfast meeting, but I wanted to talk to you face to face. Okay, Cassandra managed. You asked why I care, Jordan said. I'll tell you. My whole life people told me I couldn't do things. Too short for basketball. Not good enough. Wrong background. Wrong skin color. But I never let anyone stop me from winning. He leaned forward, his eyes intense. That casino tried to stop me from winning. Not because I cheated. Not because I broke rules. Because they didn't like that I was better than them. That's the same garbage I've been fighting my whole life. Cassandra nodded slowly. She understood. She'd felt it too. The way Russo looked at her. The way he'd assumed she must have done something wrong. This isn't about money for me, Jordan continued. It's about respect. It's about fairness. And it's about making sure the Golden Palace can't do this to anyone else. He paused. But I can't do it alone. I need people like you. People who saw what happened. People brave enough to tell the truth. I'm not brave, Cassandra whispered. I'm scared. Being brave means doing the right thing even when you're scared, Jordan said. I've been scared plenty of times. Game 7. Final seconds. Everyone watching. Scared I'd miss. But I took the shot anyway. He reached across the table. I'm asking you to take a shot with me. Help me fight this. Help me win this. Not just for us, but for everyone they pushed around. Cassandra looked at his hand. Then she looked at Bethany's folder full of faces. 47 people. Maybe more. All treated unfairly. All pushed aside. She thought about Riley. About teaching her daughter to stand up for what's right, even when it's hard. She thought about Marcus. Her husband would have told her to be brave. He always did. Cassandra took a deep breath and shook Michael Jordan's hand. Okay, she said. I'll help you. I'll testify. Jordan's smile could have lit up the whole diner. Thank you. But I need to know something, Cassandra added. What's your real plan here? This feels like more than just a lawsuit. Jordan and Bethany exchanged a look. You're right, Jordan said. The lawsuit is just the beginning. What I'm really planning, let's just say the Golden Palace won't know what hit them. What do you mean? Jordan stood up. You'll see. Trust me, Cassandra. By the time we're done, that casino will wish they'd never kicked me out. He put on his baseball cap and headed for the door. Then he turned back. Oh, and one more thing. You're going to meet some other people. People like you who the casino hurt. Listen to their stories. You're not alone in this. Then Michael Jordan walked out of Rosie's diner, leaving Cassandra sitting with Bethany and a head full of questions. What was Jordan's real plan? What would happen next? And most importantly, was she ready for whatever storm was coming? The storm arrived faster than Cassandra expected. 3 days after meeting with Michael Jordan and Bethany Chen, Cassandra received a thick envelope in the mail. Inside was a check for $5,000 and a letter explaining the next steps. She stared at the check for a long time. $5,000. Real money. Money that would change everything. That afternoon, she paid Riley's medical bills in full. The woman at the pharmacy looked surprised when Cassandra handed her $300 cash for the asthma medicine. No payment plan, no worrying, just paid. "Thank you," the pharmacist said, printing the receipt. Cassandra smiled. "Thank you." Walking out of that pharmacy felt like floating. For the first time in 3 years, she wasn't drowning. She could breathe, just like Riley could breathe with her medicine. But Cassandra knew the hard part was just beginning. The next morning, Bethany called. "Can you meet us at my office tomorrow? 2 o'clock. There are some people I'd like you to meet." Bethany's law office was in a tall glass building downtown, much fancier than anywhere Cassandra had ever been. The lobby had marble floors and a fountain. The elevator played soft music. When she reached the 10th floor, a receptionist smiled warmly. "Ms. Hayes, Ms. Chen is expecting you. Conference room B." Cassandra followed the signs down a carpeted hallway. Through a glass door, she could see people sitting around a long table. Her stomach fluttered with nerves. She knocked softly and entered. Bethany stood immediately. "Cassandra, thank you for coming. Please sit down. I want you to meet some friends." Around the table sat 5 people, all ages, all different backgrounds, all watching her with kind eyes. "Everyone," Bethany said, "this is Cassandra Hayes. She was the dealer working with Mr. Jordan the night he was banned." A man in his 30s stood and extended his hand. He was black, with glasses and a friendly smile. "Devin Jackson, good to meet you." "Devin is a math teacher," Bethany explained. "The Golden Palace banned him 2 years ago." Devin sat back down. "They said I was counting cards at blackjack. I wasn't. I was just using basic strategy, stuff you can learn in any book. But they didn't like a black teacher winning consistently." An older Asian woman spoke next. Her voice was gentle but sad. "I'm Lin Zhao. I used to be an engineer before I retired. I love playing roulette. Just for fun, you understand. Small bets, nothing crazy." "What happened?" Cassandra asked. "I won $4,000 over 3 visits," Lin said. "They banned me for unusual winning patterns." I asked what that meant. They couldn't explain. They just wanted me gone. A Latino man in his 20s leaned forward. "Marco Ruiz, I'm a college student, was playing craps with my birthday money, won $600. They accused me of cheating somehow, threw me out in front of everyone, so embarrassing." An older black woman with gray hair spoke next. "Lorraine Mitchell. I worked as a cocktail waitress at the Golden Palace for 15 years. I saw them do this to people all the time. When I complained to management, they fired me." The last person was a young Asian man who looked barely 20. "Chen Wu, international student. They banned me from playing poker because they said I was too analytical. That's literally the point of poker." Cassandra looked around the table at these faces. These people, all pushed aside, all treated unfairly, all hurt by the same casino that hurt her. "How did you all find each other?" she asked. Bethany answered. "When Mr. Jordan decided to take action, I started investigating. I put out quiet inquiries. These 5 responded, but we believe there are dozens more who haven't come forward yet. People too scared or too ashamed." "I was ashamed," Lynn admitted quietly. "I thought maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I was too greedy. It took me months to realize the casino was the problem, not me." Devin nodded. "Same. I'm a math teacher, right? I thought maybe I was too obvious with my betting patterns. But then I met Marco and Lynn and the others. We all have the same story. Different games, different amounts, but the same ending. Kicked out for winning while being a minority." "The pattern is clear," Bethany said, spreading papers across the table. "Over the last 5 years, the Golden Palace banned 47 skilled players. We've documented every case. 43 were people of color, only 4 were white, and those 4 white players? They were banned for actual cheating, Marked cards, colluding with dealers. Real crimes. She pointed to a chart. But the minority players? Banned for things like suspicious betting, unusual luck, concerning patterns. Nothing concrete, nothing illegal. Just winning. Cassandra felt anger rising in her chest. That's not right. No, it's not, Bethany agreed. That's why we're building this case. We need to prove the casino has a pattern of racial discrimination. And to do that, we need all of you to testify. Marco shifted uncomfortably. I already told you, I can't testify. My student visa, if I get involved in a lawsuit, immigration might have problems with it. I understand, Bethany said gently. That's why we're asking, not demanding. Everyone here has to make their own choice. Lorraine spoke up. I'll testify, I'm old. I got nothing to lose, and I'm tired of staying quiet while the Golden Palace hurts people. Me too, Devin said firmly. I teach kids about standing up for what's right. Time I practice what I preach. Lynn hesitated. I'm scared. What if they come after us? What if they hire lawyers to make us look bad? They will, Bethany said honestly. The casino has expensive lawyers. They'll try to discredit everyone who testifies. They'll dig into your past. They'll look for anything to use against you. The room went quiet. Heavy. Chen Wu stood up suddenly. I can't do this. I'm sorry. I just can't. He grabbed his bag and left, the door clicking shut behind him. Marco looked down at his hands. I want to help. I really do. But my family depends on me finishing college. I can't risk my visa. I understand, Bethany said. No judgment. This is a personal decision. After Marco left, only 4 remained. Cassandra, Devin, Lynn, and Lorraine. 4 is enough, Bethany said. 4 strong voices telling the truth. That's powerful. Over the next hour, Bethany explained what would happen next. They'd file the lawsuit in 2 weeks. The casino would fight back hard. There would be depositions, interviews, media attention. Their lives would be examined closely. I won't lie to you, Bethany said. This will be difficult, stressful, scary sometimes. But what you're doing matters. You're not just fighting for yourselves. You're fighting for everyone the casino might hurt in the future. After the meeting, Cassandra walked to the elevator with Devin. You doing okay? He asked. Honestly, I'm terrified. Devin smiled. Good. That means you understand what we're up against. But you know what? I looked into Michael Jordan's history. That man doesn't lose. When he commits to something, he wins. We're on the right team. I hope you're right. I am, trust me. That evening, Cassandra picked up Riley from school and took her for ice cream, a rare treat. They sat outside the shop enjoying chocolate cones in the warm afternoon sun. Mommy, you seem different lately, Riley said, licking her cone. Different how? Less worried, more. I don't know. Strong? Cassandra smiled. I'm trying to be strong, baby. I'm trying to do something important. Is it dangerous? The question surprised Cassandra. Riley was only 7, but she understood more than most kids her age. Losing her father had forced her to grow up too fast. Not dangerous like that, Cassandra said carefully, but it's hard. I'm helping some people who were treated unfairly, and the people who were unfair to them might get angry with me. Riley thought about this, chocolate ice cream on her chin. Is it the right thing to do? Yes, it's definitely the right thing. Then you should do it. Daddy always said you should do the right thing, even when it's hard. Tears stung Cassandra's eyes. Your daddy was a smart man. I miss him. Me too, baby. Me too. That night, after Riley went to bed, Cassandra's phone rang. Unknown number again. Her heart jumped. Was it Bethany? Jordan? The casino? Hello? Heavy breathing on the other end. Then a voice she recognized. Vincent Russo. Ms. Hayes, I heard you had a meeting today. Downtown, fancy lawyer's office. Cassandra's blood went cold. How did you? I know everything that happens in this city, Russo said. His voice was smooth, dangerous. I know you're working with Jordan. I know you're planning to testify against the Golden Palace. I'm allowed to. Let me make something very clear, Russo interrupted. If you testify, you'll never work in Atlantic City again. Not just casinos. Anywhere. I have friends, connections. I'll make sure every business in this city knows your trouble." Cassandra's hands shook, but anger steadied her voice. "Are you threatening me? I'm warning you. Think about your daughter. Think about her future. Is this really worth it?" He hung up. Cassandra sat in her dark kitchen, shaking. She should have been terrified, should have wanted to back out. But instead, she felt something else: determination. She picked up her phone and called Bethany. "He just threatened me," Cassandra said when Bethany answered. "Who did?" "Vincent Russo. He called my personal phone. He threatened my job, my daughter, everything." There was a pause. Then Bethany said something that surprised Cassandra. "Did you record the call?" "What? No, Next time he calls, record it. I'll send you instructions on how. Threats like that are evidence, Cassandra. He just made our case stronger." Cassandra blinked. "Really? Really? Russo thinks he's scaring you into backing down. What he's actually doing is proving exactly what we're saying. The casino abuses its power to silence people. Keep your phone nearby. If he calls again, record everything." After hanging up, Cassandra felt different. Russo had tried to scare her. Instead, he'd made her angry. She thought about Devin's words. Michael Jordan doesn't lose. She thought about the 47 people on Bethany's list. She thought about Riley, asking if this was the right thing to do. It was. She knew it was. The storm was coming. Vincent Russo had made sure of that. But Cassandra was ready to face it. The next 3 weeks moved like a whirlwind. Bethany filed the lawsuit against the Golden Palace Casino. The news exploded across Atlantic City like a bomb. Local newspapers ran headlines: "Michael Jordan sues casino for discrimination." National news picked it up. ESPN covered it. Everyone had an opinion. The casino fired back immediately. Their lawyers held a press conference calling Jordan's lawsuit frivolous and a publicity stunt. They claimed he was just angry about losing money, even though he'd won $93,000. Vincent Russo gave an interview saying, "We have the right to refuse service to anyone. Mr. Jordan was not discriminated against. This is simply a business decision." But Bethany was ready. She released the list of 47 banned players. She showed the pattern. She let Devin, Lorraine, and Lynn tell their stories to the media. Public opinion started shifting. Then Russo made his mistake. 1 week before the trial, he called Cassandra again. This time she was ready. Her phone recording app was on. "Ms. Hayes," Russo's oily voice said, "last chance. Drop out of this circus and I'll give you your job back. Plus a bonus, $10,000 cash." "You want to pay me to lie?" Cassandra asked, making sure every word was clear. "I'm offering you a business opportunity. Take it and this all goes away. Refuse and I'll destroy you. I'll make sure your daughter's school knows what kind of mother you are. I'll make sure—" "I'm recording this conversation," Cassandra interrupted, "and my lawyer will hear every word tomorrow." Silence. Then the line went dead. Cassandra's hands shook as she saved the recording and sent it to Bethany. Within an hour, Bethany called back, excitement in her voice. "Cassandra, this is perfect. He just attempted witness tampering and made direct threats. We're adding this to our evidence. Russo just handed us a gift." The trial began on a cold Monday morning in October. The courthouse steps were packed with reporters, cameras everywhere, microphones shoved toward anyone who looked important. Cassandra arrived with Bethany. She wore a simple navy dress, professional but not expensive. Her hands wouldn't stop shaking. "Breathe," Bethany whispered. "You're going to do great." Inside the courtroom, Cassandra felt small. The ceilings were high, dark wood everywhere. The judge's bench loomed like a mountain. Rows of seats filled with people, reporters, curious citizens, casino employees watching with cold eyes. On one side sat Michael Jordan with Bethany and their legal team. Jordan wore a perfect charcoal suit. He looked calm, confident, like he was about to play Game 7 of the finals. On the other side sat the Golden Palace's lawyers, 5 of them, all in expensive suits. Vincent Russo sat behind them, glaring at everyone. The lead lawyer for the casino was Gregory Hunt. He had silver hair, cold blue eyes, and a reputation for destroying witnesses on the stand. Cassandra had Googled him. He'd never lost a case. "All rise," the bailiff called. "The Honorable Judge Patricia Morrison presiding." Judge Morrison was a black woman in her 60s with sharp eyes and no-nonsense energy. She looked like someone who didn't tolerate games. "Be seated," she said. "We're here for Jordan versus Golden Palace Casino Corporation. I've reviewed the preliminary documents. This should be interesting." She looked at both sides. "Counselors, your opening statements." Bethany stood. She walked to the center of the courtroom like she owned it. "Your Honor, members of the jury, this case is simple. Michael Jordan is one of the greatest athletes in history. He's won 6 NBA championships. He's earned billions of dollars. But on August 14th of this year, he was humiliated, kicked out of a casino. Why? Not because he cheated, not because he broke any rules, but because he won. And because the casino didn't like who was winning, she turned to face the jury. 12 people, different ages, races, backgrounds. The Golden Palace Casino has a pattern, a clear, documented pattern of banning skilled minority players while allowing white players to continue playing. We'll prove this pattern, we'll show you the numbers, we'll introduce you to real people whose lives were damaged by this discrimination, and we'll show you that what happened to Mr. Jordan wasn't an isolated incident, it was business as usual. Bethany sat down. The courtroom was silent. Gregory Hunt stood. He buttoned his suit jacket and smiled at the jury like they were old friends. "Ladies and gentlemen, my client runs a business, a legal business, a business that provides entertainment and jobs to this community. And like any business, they have the right to protect themselves from advantage players." He walked toward Jordan's table. "Mr. Jordan is rich, famous, powerful. He can afford the best lawyers money can buy. And now he's using those resources to bully a local business because he's unhappy about a simple business decision. The Golden Palace didn't discriminate against Mr. Jordan. They exercised their legal right to refuse service. That's all. This lawsuit is nothing but a publicity stunt from a man who's used to getting whatever he wants." Hunt sat down looking satisfied. The trial began. For 2 days, Bethany presented evidence. Charts showing the 47 banned players. Statistics proving the racial disparity. Expert witnesses explaining that basic blackjack strategy isn't cheating, it's just smart play. Then came the personal testimonies. Devin Jackson took the stand first. He wore a suit and tie, looking every bit the professional teacher he was. Bethany asked him to tell his story. "I love playing blackjack," Devin said. His voice was steady. "I teach high school math, so I understand probability. I studied basic strategy. Nothing illegal, just making the mathematically best decision on every hand." "And what happened when you started winning?" Bethany asked. "At first, nothing. I'd win a little, lose a little, normal stuff, but then I had a good night. Won about $3,000 over 4 hours. The pit boss came over, very friendly, asked how I was doing. I thought he was being nice. Then what?" Devin's face tightened. "Next time I came back, they wouldn't let me play blackjack. Said I was banned from table games. I asked why. They said business decision. I asked if I did something wrong. They said no, just a business decision. I felt like a criminal, but I hadn't done anything except win." Gregory Hunt cross-examined him aggressively. "Mr. Jackson, isn't it true you were counting cards?" "No, sir, I wasn't. But you admit you studied the game, learned strategies, calculated odds." "Yes, but that's not illegal. That's just being smart." "The casino has the right to ban smart players, don't they?" "I guess, but yes or no, Mr. Jackson?" Devin looked frustrated. "Legally, maybe, but morally, no, especially when they only ban smart players who aren't white." Hunt moved on quickly, but the damage was done. Devin had made his point. Lin Zhao testified next. She was nervous, her hands trembling, but her story was powerful. "I'm 72 years old," she said softly. "I worked as an engineer for 40 years. When I retired, I had time. My husband passed away, and I was lonely. The casino was something to do, somewhere to go." "What games did you play?" Bethany asked gently. "Roulette mostly. Small bets. $5, $10. I wasn't trying to get rich, just pass time." "What happened?" Lynn's eyes filled with tears. "One night I got lucky. Won $4,000. I was so happy. I called my daughter to tell her. The next week when I came back, security stopped me at the door. Said I was banned. I asked why. They said unusual winning patterns. I asked what that meant. They couldn't explain. How did that make you feel? Ashamed? Confused? Like I'd done something wrong? I'm a law-abiding person. I've never even gotten a speeding ticket, but they treated me like a cheater. Hunt tried to shake her testimony, but Lynn stayed strong. The jury looked sympathetic. Lorraine Mitchell testified about working at the casino for 15 years, about seeing this happen again and again, about being fired when she complained. Each testimony built on the last, creating a picture, a pattern, a system designed to push minorities out while protecting white players. Then it was Cassandra's turn. Her legs felt like water as she walked to the witness stand. She placed her hand on the Bible and swore to tell the truth. Bethany smiled at her encouragingly. Ms. Hayes, please tell the court what happened on August 14. Cassandra took a deep breath. I was working my normal shift as a blackjack dealer. Around midnight, Mr. Jordan came to my table. He played for about 3 hours. He was polite, focused, and he followed all the rules. Did he cheat in any way? No, absolutely not. Did you help him cheat? No, I dealt every hand fairly, exactly as I was trained. What happened at the end of the night? Cassandra's voice strengthened. Mr. Russo, the casino manager, came to the table. He was angry. He told Mr. Jordan he was too lucky and had to leave. Right there, in front of everyone. It was humiliating. How did Mr. Jordan respond? He stayed calm. He didn't argue. He just gathered his chips and left. But before he went, he whispered to me. He said, "Remember what happened here tonight? I will." The courtroom murmured. Gregory Hunt stood for cross-examination. He looked at Cassandra like she was dirt on his shoe. Ms. Hayes, you're being paid to testify here today, aren't you? Cassandra's heart pounded. I received compensation as a consultant for... Yes or no? Are you being paid? Yes, but... $20,000, correct? Yes. Hunt smiled at the jury. So you have a financial incentive to say whatever Mr. Jordan's lawyers want you to say. Anger flared in Cassandra's chest. No, I'm telling the truth. You were suspended from the casino after this incident, weren't you? Yes. So you're angry at your former employer. You want revenge. I want justice, Cassandra said firmly. There's a difference. Hunt changed tactics. Ms. Hayes, you're a single mother, correct? Bethany stood. Objection. Relevance? I'm establishing the witness's financial situation and potential biases, Hunt said. Judge Morrison considered. I'll allow it, but tread carefully, Mr. Hunt. Hunt turned back to Cassandra. You have significant debts, don't you? Medical bills from your late husband. Tears stung Cassandra's eyes. How dare he bring up Marcus? Yes. So this $20,000 is very important to you. Yes, it helps, but that's not why I'm here. Then why are you here, Ms. Hayes? Cassandra looked directly at the jury. Her voice didn't shake anymore. I'm here because what the Golden Palace did was wrong. To Mr. Jordan, to me, to everyone on that list. I'm here because my daughter asked me if this was the right thing to do, and I told her yes. I'm here because staying silent makes you part of the problem, and I'm tired of being silent. The courtroom went quiet. Hunt had no response. He sat down. Then came the moment everyone was waiting for. The plaintiff calls Michael Jordan to the stand. Jordan walked to the witness stand with the same confidence he'd walked onto basketball courts 1,000 times. He swore his oath and sat down. Bethany began gently. Mr. Jordan, why do you enjoy gambling? Jordan smiled. It's strategic, competitive. There's skill involved, especially in games like blackjack and poker. I like testing myself. I like the mental challenge. Do you consider yourself a skilled player? Yes, I study the games. I understand the odds. I make smart decisions, just like I did in basketball. On August 14th, were you cheating? No. Were you counting cards? No, I was using basic strategy. Anyone can learn it from a book. Why do you think the casino banned you? Jordan's expression hardened. Because I was winning, and because they didn't like that a black man was winning consistently at their tables. Hunt objected. Speculation. Sustained, Judge Morrison said. Mr. Jordan, stick to facts. Jordan nodded. The facts are simple. I played fair. I won. They kicked me out. And when I looked into it, I found 47 other minority players with the same story. That's not coincidence. That's a pattern. Gregory Hunt's cross-examination was aggressive. Mr. Jordan, you're worth over $1 billion, correct? Approximately. So $93,000 means nothing to you. It's not about the money. Then what is it about? Publicity? Keeping your name in the headlines now that you're retired? Jordan's eyes flashed. It's about respect, about fairness, about making sure the Golden Palace can't do this to anyone else. You've gambled millions of dollars over the years, haven't you? Yes. Lost millions too? Sometimes that's gambling. So you've won. You've lost. But this one time you get kicked out, suddenly it's discrimination? Jordan leaned forward. This one time I paid attention. I looked deeper, and I found a system designed to push out minority players while protecting white high rollers. That's not business. That's racism. The courtroom erupted. Judge Morrison banged her gavel. Order! Hunt tried a few more questions, but Jordan was unshakable. He'd been in high-pressure situations his entire life. One lawyer couldn't rattle him. The final piece of evidence was the recording of Russo's phone call. Bethany played it for the courtroom. Russo's voice filled the space, threatening Cassandra, offering bribes, making it clear he'd do anything to win. The jury's faces said everything. After 5 days of testimony, both sides gave closing arguments. Hunt insisted the casino had done nothing wrong, just business decisions. Bethany reminded the jury of the pattern, the numbers, the real people whose lives were damaged. Then the jury left to deliberate. Cassandra sat in the hallway with Devin, Lynn, and Lorraine. They barely spoke. The weight of what they'd done pressed down on all of them. Jordan sat nearby, calm as ever. At one point, he came over. "Thank you," he said simply. "All of you. Whatever happens, you stood up. That takes courage." "Do you think we'll win?" Lynn asked. Jordan smiled. "I always think I'm going to win. But even if we don't, we made them answer for what they did. That matters." After 2 days, the bailiff emerged. "The jury has reached a verdict." They filed back into the courtroom. Cassandra's heart hammered so hard she thought it might burst. "Has the jury reached a verdict?" Judge Morrison asked. "We have, Your Honor." "On the charge of racial discrimination, how do you find?" The jury foreman, a middle-aged white man, looked at the Golden Palace's lawyers. "We find the defendant guilty." The courtroom exploded. Cassandra grabbed Devin's hand. Lynn cried. Lorraine laughed through tears. Judge Morrison banged her gavel for order. The damages were announced. $5 million to Michael Jordan, $100,000 to each of the other plaintiffs. Cassandra would receive $100,000, plus the $20,000 consultant fee, $120,000 total, enough to change her life. But more than that, they'd won. They'd stood up to power and won. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed. Jordan gave a brief statement. This was never about money. This was about justice. About making sure the Golden Palace and casinos like it understand they can't discriminate. Today, justice won. Cassandra stood beside him, tears streaming down her face. She'd done it. They'd all done it. But as they celebrated, Cassandra had no idea that Jordan's plan was just beginning. The verdict was only the first move. What came next would cost the Golden Palace millions more and transform Atlantic City forever. The celebration after the verdict felt like a dream. Cassandra, Devin, Lynn, and Lorraine stood together outside the courthouse while cameras flashed. Reporters shouted questions. Strangers on the street cheered. Someone had brought champagne. "How does it feel to win?" a reporter asked Cassandra. She wiped tears from her eyes. "It feels like justice. It feels like our voices finally mattered." Devin hugged her tight. "We did it. We actually did it." Lynn kept repeating, "I can't believe it. I just can't believe it." Even Lorraine, who always seemed so strong, cried happy tears. 15 years I worked there. 15 years watching them hurt people. Finally, they have to answer for it. Michael Jordan stood slightly apart. Watching them celebrate, he smiled that quiet smile. Bethany stood beside him, looking satisfied. "You're not celebrating?" Bethany asked him. "Not yet," Jordan said. "We won the battle, but the war isn't over." That night, Cassandra picked up Riley from her neighbor's house. She'd been watching the news coverage all day. Riley ran to her mother. "Mommy, you were on TV! You won!" Cassandra scooped her up, even though Riley was getting too big to carry. "We won, baby. We really won. Does this mean we don't have to worry about money anymore?" Cassandra set her down and knelt to eye level. "It means things will be easier, much easier. But more importantly, it means we stood up for what was right, and we won." Riley hugged her tight. "I'm proud of you, Mommy." Those words meant more than any amount of money. The next morning, Cassandra woke to her phone ringing. Bethany. "Good morning, champion," Bethany said cheerfully. "How are you feeling?" "Still processing. It doesn't feel real." "Well, it's about to get more real. Can you come to my office this afternoon?" 2 o'clock. Mr. Jordan wants to speak with everyone." "Is something wrong?" "No, but he has something important to share. Something big." At 2 o'clock, Cassandra arrived at Bethany's office. Devin, Lynn, and Lorraine were already there, sitting in the conference room. They all looked curious and a little nervous. Michael Jordan walked in a few minutes later. He wore jeans and a simple black sweater. No suit today. He looked relaxed, happy. "Thanks for coming," he said, sitting at the head of the table. "First, congratulations to all of you. What we did in that courtroom, what you did, was remarkable. We couldn't have done it without you," Devin said. Jordan shook his head. "You had the courage to testify. You put your lives on display. I just provided the platform. But that's actually why I wanted to meet today. Because this platform, we're going to use it for something bigger." He looked around the table, making eye contact with each person. "The $5 million I won from the Golden Palace? I'm donating it, every penny." The room went silent. "Donating it?" Lynn asked. "To what?" Jordan smiled. "I'm buying a building here in Atlantic City, a big building near the boardwalk, and I'm turning it into something this city needs. A community center focused on helping families affected by gambling addiction." Cassandra's breath caught. "A community center?" "Yes. It'll be called the Second Chance Center. Free counseling for people struggling with gambling problems. Job training for people who've lost everything. Childcare for single parents trying to rebuild their lives. Educational programs teaching kids about the dangers of addiction." Bethany pulled out architectural drawings and spread them on the table. The building was beautiful, 3 stories, with classrooms, counseling rooms, a gymnasium, a daycare center. "This is incredible," Devin breathed. "I've seen too many people destroyed by gambling," Jordan said quietly. "People who started playing for fun and ended up losing their homes, their families, their futures. Casinos make billions off addiction. It's time someone gave back to the people hurt by it." "Why didn't you announce this at the press conference?" Lorraine asked. "Because it's not about publicity, it's about actually helping people." Jordan leaned forward. "And I want all of you to be part of it." "What do you mean?" Cassandra asked. "The center needs staff, people who understand struggle, people who care about this community." "Cassandra, I'd like you to be the community outreach coordinator. You'd work with families, connect them with resources, help them navigate the system." Cassandra's eyes widened. "Me? But I don't have experience." "You have the most important experience. You've lived through hardship. You know what it's like to struggle. That matters more than any degree." He turned to Devin. "Devin, I want you to run educational programs. Teach kids math, probability, the real odds of gambling. Show them how casinos work so they can make informed choices." Devin nodded slowly. "I could do that. I'd love to do that. Lynn, we need someone to manage our financial literacy programs, teaching people budgeting, saving, rebuilding after financial disaster. Your engineering background means you understand systems and organization." Lynn smiled through tears. "I would be honored. And Lorraine, I want you to train our staff. You worked in a casino for 15 years. You know how they operate. You can teach our counselors what to watch for, how to recognize when someone needs help." Lorraine laughed. "You want to pay me to speak out against casinos? I've been doing that for free for years." "Yes, absolutely, yes." Bethany handed each of them a folder. "These are the job offers. Competitive salaries, benefits, the works. Look them over. But know that this center will change lives, including yours." Cassandra opened her folder. The salary was $45,000 a year, more than she'd ever made, with benefits, health insurance, dental, a retirement plan. She started crying again. "This is too much," she whispered. Jordan reached across the table and put his hand on hers. "It's exactly enough. You all deserve this, and the community deserves this center." Over the next hour, they discussed the plans. The center would open in 6 months. They'd hire more staff. They'd partner with local schools and churches. They'd provide services completely free to anyone who needed them. "Won't this cost millions to run?" Devin asked. "Yes," Jordan said, "but I'm committed to funding it for at least 10 years. After that, we'll have fundraising, grants, partnerships. We'll make it sustainable." As the meeting ended, Cassandra felt overwhelmed. The verdict had given her money, but this gave her purpose. "Can I ask you something?" she said to Jordan as others gathered their things. "Of course. Why are you really doing this? The lawsuit, the center, all of it. You could have just walked away from the casino and forgotten about it." Jordan was quiet for a moment. "You know what the hardest thing about being Michael Jordan is?" Cassandra shook her head. "Everyone expects you to be perfect, to win every time, to never show weakness." He looked out the window at the Atlantic City skyline. "But the truth is, I've been lucky. Talented, yes. Hardworking, absolutely. But also lucky. Lucky to have coaches who believed in me. Lucky to have opportunities. Lucky to have a platform." He turned back to her. "What happened at the Golden Palace reminded me that not everyone gets those chances. The casino banned me because they could, because they had power and I was just a customer. But I have power too. Different kind. And if I don't use it to help people, what's the point?" "You're a good man, Mr. Jordan." He smiled. "I'm just a man who got kicked out of a casino and decided to do something about it. You're the ones who are brave. You stood up when you had everything to lose." 3 days later, Jordan held a press conference to announce the Second Chance Center. The news went viral. ESPN covered it. CNN covered it. Every major newspaper ran the story. "Michael Jordan turns casino victory into community hope." The response was overwhelming. People from across the country sent donations. Volunteers signed up. Other celebrities pledged support. But the biggest response came from the Golden Palace Casino. Their stock price plummeted. Customers started boycotting. High rollers refused to play there. Within a week, the casino's revenue dropped by 40%. Vincent Russo was fired. Cassandra saw it on the news. Russo walking out of the casino with a cardboard box, surrounded by reporters. He looked small, defeated, nothing like the powerful man who'd threatened her. She felt a strange mix of emotions, relief, justice, and a little bit of sadness. Even bad people face consequences, but the consequences for the Golden Palace were just beginning. 2 weeks after the verdict, more news broke. An investigative reporter from the Atlantic City Journal published a massive expose. She'd been investigating the casino for months, inspired by Jordan's lawsuit. The article revealed that the Golden Palace had discriminated against hundreds of players over the past decade. Not just 47, hundreds, maybe thousands. The evidence was damning. Internal emails using racist code words, training documents instructing pit bosses to watch urban players more closely. Policies that specifically targeted minority high rollers. Within days, class action lawsuits started piling up. Former banned players from across the country came forward, each with their own story, each with their own pain. The Golden Palace tried to fight back, but the damage was done. Their reputation was destroyed. Estimates suggested the lawsuits could cost them over $100 million, but Jordan wasn't done yet. 1 month after the verdict, Bethany called Cassandra with shocking news. "Turn on CNBC," Bethany said. "Now!" Cassandra turned on the TV. A financial news anchor was talking about the Golden Palace's parent company, Prestige Gaming Corporation. In a surprising move, basketball legend Michael Jordan has acquired a significant stake in Prestige Gaming Corporation, the parent company of the Golden Palace Casino. Jordan now owns approximately 12% of the company's stock, making him one of the largest individual shareholders. Cassandra's jaw dropped. "He bought stock in the casino?" "Not just any stock," Bethany said. Enough to have real power, enough to demand changes. The news anchor continued. Jordan has called for an emergency shareholder meeting. Sources say he plans to push for a complete restructuring of the company's board of directors and a total overhaul of their casino management practices. Cassandra understood. This was Jordan's final move. He wasn't just suing the casino. He wasn't just opening a community center. He was taking over. 2 weeks later, the shareholder meeting happened. Bethany brought Cassandra, Devin, Lynn, and Lorraine to attend. They sat in the back of a huge conference room filled with wealthy investors and corporate executives. Michael Jordan stood at a podium, dressed in an impeccable suit. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, "I'm here because Prestige Gaming Corporation has failed. Failed its customers, failed its employees, failed its community, and most importantly, failed basic standards of human decency." He presented the evidence. The discrimination, the lawsuits, the devastating financial losses. "Your stock price has dropped 42% since my lawsuit became public. Your flagship property, the Golden Palace, is hemorrhaging money. Customers don't trust you, and they're right not to." The room was silent. "I'm proposing a complete board restructure, new leadership, new policies, and a commitment, a legally binding commitment, to fair gaming practices that don't discriminate based on race, ethnicity, or any other factor." An older white man in an expensive suit stood up. "Mr. Jordan, casinos have the right to refuse service." "Not for discriminatory reasons," Jordan cut him off. "And that's what's been happening. The evidence is overwhelming. Change now or watch this company crumble." The vote happened that afternoon. Jordan's proposal passed. Barely, but it passed. The old board was out. New leadership was in. The Golden Palace would undergo a complete transformation. Outside the meeting, reporters swarmed again. "Mr. Jordan, some are calling this a hostile takeover," one reporter said. Jordan smiled. "I call it accountability. The Golden Palace thought they could ban me and face no consequences. They were wrong. What's next for you?" "The Second Chance Center opens in 4 months. That's what matters. Helping people. Changing lives. That's the real victory." Cassandra watched from the side, amazed. Jordan had done it. He'd taken a humiliating moment, being kicked out of a casino, and turned it into something powerful, something meaningful. He'd won his $5 million, donated it all. He'd forced the casino to change from the inside. He'd created jobs for people who needed them. He'd started a movement for fair gaming practices nationwide. And he'd cost the Golden Palace something they could never recover, their reputation and over $100 million in losses, lawsuits, and restructuring. But most importantly, he'd given people like Cassandra hope. That night, Cassandra tucked Riley into bed. "Mommy, you seem happy," Riley said. "I am happy, baby. Really happy." "Because of the money?" "No, because we helped change something. We made things better." Riley smiled sleepily. "Like superheroes?" Cassandra kissed her forehead. "Exactly like superheroes." As she turned out the light, Cassandra thought about everything that had happened. 3 months ago, she'd been a struggling single mother, barely making ends meet, afraid of losing everything. Now she had a new job, financial security, purpose, all because she'd chosen to stand up, to tell the truth. To be brave even when she was terrified. Michael Jordan had shown her that winning wasn't just about points on a scoreboard. It was about principles, about justice, about using whatever power you had to help others. The Golden Palace had banned him for winning too much. His response had cost them millions, but it had gained the world something much more valuable. Proof that standing up to power was worth it. That one person could make a difference. That justice eventually finds a way to win. 6 months passed like a beautiful dream. Spring arrived in Atlantic City, bringing warm breezes and bright sunshine. The boardwalk filled with tourists again. Street performers played music. Children laughed and ran along the beach. And on a bright Saturday morning in April, the Second Chance Center opened its doors for the first time. Cassandra stood outside the building, staring up at the sign. Big, bold letters spelled out the name. Below it, smaller words, "A place for new beginnings." Her heart swelled with pride. The building was beautiful. 3 stories of red brick with large windows that let in natural light, a small garden in front with benches and flowers, a playground for children on the side. Inside was even better. Bright, cheerful rooms, comfortable furniture, walls painted in warm colors, yellow, orange, soft green. It felt safe, welcoming, like a home. "You ready?" Devin asked, walking up beside her. He wore khakis and a polo shirt with the Second Chance Center logo embroidered on it. "I think so," Cassandra said. "Are you?" "Absolutely. I've got 20 kids signed up for my first math class. Can you believe it? 20 kids who want to learn about probability and smart decision-making." Lynn joined them, carrying a box of supplies. "The financial literacy classroom is set up. We have our first session on Monday, 15 adults who want to learn budgeting." Lorraine came last, pushing a cart loaded with training manuals. "Staff orientation went perfectly yesterday. We've got 12 counselors ready to start helping families." At 10 o'clock, they opened the doors. Hundreds of people showed up for the grand opening. Families from all over Atlantic City. People who'd heard about the center on the news. People who needed help. People who wanted to volunteer. And of course, the media. Cameras everywhere. Reporters asking questions. Michael Jordan arrived at 10:30. He tried to come quietly, but that was impossible. People recognized him immediately. Cheers erupted. But Jordan didn't play to the cameras. He walked straight to a young mother standing near the entrance with 2 small children. "Welcome," he said warmly. "What brings you here today?" The woman looked nervous. "My husband has a gambling problem. He lost his job. We're about to lose our apartment. I heard you have counselors who can help." Jordan's expression softened. "We absolutely do. See that woman there?" He pointed to Cassandra. "Her name is Cassandra Hayes. She's going to take care of you, I promise." He called Cassandra over and introduced them. The young mother's name was Maria. Her children were 3 and 5 years old. Her husband Carlos had started gambling 2 years ago. Small bets at first, then bigger ones. Now they were $30,000 in debt. "I don't know what to do," Maria said, tears streaming down her face. "I love him, but I can't watch him destroy our family." Cassandra took Maria's hand. She understood that pain. Different circumstances, but the same fear of losing everything. "You're in the right place," Cassandra said gently. "We have counselors who specialize in gambling addiction. We have financial advisors who can help you navigate the debt. And we have childcare. So your kids are safe while you figure things out." Maria's face crumpled with relief. "Really? All of that? For free?" "Completely free. That's why we're here." Over the next hour, Cassandra helped Maria fill out intake forms. She connected her with counselor Raymond Thomas, a former gambling addict himself, who'd been sober for 10 years. She enrolled Maria in Lynn's financial literacy class. She signed the kids up for the daycare program. By noon, Maria looked different, still worried but hopeful. Like maybe, just maybe, things could get better. "Thank you," Maria whispered to Cassandra. "You saved my life today." "You saved your own life," Cassandra replied. "You walked through those doors. That took courage." Throughout the day, more families came. A grandfather who'd gambled away his retirement savings. A college student addicted to online poker. A widow who'd lost everything at slot machines after her husband died. Each person had a story. Each person needed help. And the Second Chance Center was there for all of them. By the end of the day, they'd enrolled 43 families in their programs. 43 families who now had hope. That evening, after everyone left, the core team gathered in the main room. Cassandra, Devin, Lynn, Lorraine, Bethany, and Jordan. They were exhausted but happy. "Today was incredible," Lynn said. "I never imagined we'd help so many people on the first day." "This is just the beginning," Jordan said. "Word will spread, more people will come, and we'll be ready for them." "The Golden Palace must be furious," Lorraine said with a satisfied smile. Bethany pulled out her phone. "Actually, let me show you something." She pulled up a news article from that afternoon. The headline read, "Golden Palace Casino Revenue Drops 62% in 6 months." The article explained that the casino had been bleeding money since the discrimination lawsuit. High rollers refused to play there. Regular customers stayed away. Their reputation was destroyed. Local analysts estimate the Golden Palace has lost over $30 million in revenue since the verdict. Bethany read. Combined with legal fees, settlements, and restructuring costs, total losses may exceed $100 million. Devin whistled. 100 million. That's what happens when you mess with Michael Jordan. It's not about me, Jordan said quietly. It's about them finally paying for what they did. All those people they hurt over the years. They're finally getting justice. There's more, Bethany said. She scrolled to another article. 3 other casinos in Atlantic City have changed their policies. They're adopting fair gaming practices, diversity training for staff, and transparent systems for when they can and can't ban players. We're changing the whole industry, Lynn said, amazed. Not just Atlantic City either, Bethany continued. Casinos in Las Vegas, Connecticut, and Mississippi have all announced similar policy changes. They don't want to be the next Golden Palace. Cassandra felt tears welling up again. She'd cried so much over the past 6 months. Tears of fear, tears of joy, tears of relief. We did this, she whispered. We actually changed things. Jordan stood and raised his water bottle. To second chances, for everyone who needs them. They all raised their bottles and drank. As the weeks passed, the Second Chance Center became a fixture in Atlantic City. Maria's husband Carlos entered treatment. He attended counseling 3 times a week. He joined a support group. It was hard, recovery always was. But he was trying. Maria took Lynn's financial literacy class. She learned to budget. She negotiated with creditors. She found a part-time job while her kids were in the center's daycare. 3 months after opening, Maria came to Cassandra's office with news. Carlos has been clean for 90 days, she said, beaming. 3 whole months without gambling. And we just got approved for a payment plan on our debt. We're going to make it, Cassandra. Because of you, we're going to make it. Stories like Maria's happened every week. The grandfather rebuilt his retirement savings, 1 small deposit at a time. The college student quit online poker and focused on his studies. He graduated with honors. The widow found a community at the center. She volunteered in the garden, planting flowers and vegetables. She said it made her feel alive again. Devin's math classes were always full. Kids loved learning about probability because he made it fun. He showed them card tricks. He explained how casinos design games to always favor the house. He taught them to think critically. One of his students, a 14-year-old named Marcus, Cassandra smiled when she heard the name. Her Marcus would have loved this. Wrote an essay about gambling for school. Casinos want you to think you can beat them, Marcus wrote. But Mr. Jackson taught us the math. The house always wins in the long run. The only way to win is not to play, or if you do play, to know when to walk away. Marcus won first place in the city's essay contest. Devin was so proud he cried. Lynn's financial literacy program helped over 200 people in the first 6 months. People learned to save money, to avoid predatory loans, to build credit, to plan for emergencies. One woman, Teresa, had been living paycheck to paycheck for years. After taking Lynn's class, she opened a savings account for the first time in her life. I saved $50 last month, Teresa told Lynn excitedly. $50. I know it's not much, but it's everything, Lynn interrupted. $50 means you're taking control. You're building a foundation. I'm so proud of you. Lorraine trained the counseling staff to recognize signs of gambling addiction. She taught them about casino tactics, about how the games were designed to keep people playing, about the psychological manipulation. Casinos pump oxygen into the air to keep people awake, she explained in one training session. They remove clocks and windows so people lose track of time. They give free drinks to impair judgment. They design the space so you have to walk through gambling areas to get anywhere. It's all calculated. Her training helped counselors understand what their clients faced. It made them better at their jobs. The center also partnered with local schools. Devin and his team taught workshops about probability, statistics, and critical thinking. They showed kids how to spot scams, how to understand odds, how to make smart financial decisions. Riley attended one of the workshops. Afterwards, she came home excited. Mommy, did you know that slot machines are programmed to only pay out a certain percentage? Mr. Jackson explained the whole thing. It was so cool. Cassandra smiled. Her daughter was learning to think critically, to question, to understand the world. That was worth more than any amount of money. Meanwhile, The Golden Palace continued to struggle. Under new management, they'd implemented all the changes Jordan demanded. Fair gaming policies, diversity training, transparent rules about banning players. But the damage was done. Their reputation was ruined. Revenue stayed low. In July, 6 months after the verdict, shocking news broke. The Golden Palace was being sold. Prestige Gaming Corporation couldn't sustain the losses. They were selling the property to a hotel chain that would convert it into a regular hotel, no casino. Atlantic City's oldest casino was closing its gambling operations permanently. When Cassandra heard the news, she had mixed feelings. People would lose their jobs, that was sad. But the Golden Palace had caused so much pain over the years. Maybe this was for the best. Jordan's response to the news was measured. "I never wanted to destroy the Golden Palace," he told reporters. "I wanted them to change, to be better. They had that chance and they couldn't recover. That's on them, not me. But I hope the workers find new jobs quickly. They were just doing what management told them to do." True to his word, Jordan used his connections to help displace casino workers. The Second Chance Center added a job placement program. They helped over 100 former Golden Palace employees find new positions. Some of them even came to work at the center. Janet, Cassandra's old friend from her dealer days, became the center's receptionist. "Never thought I'd work for Michael Jordan?" Janet joked on her first day. "But I'm glad to be here. This place does real good." As summer turned to fall, Cassandra reflected on everything that had changed. A year ago, she'd been desperate, struggling, afraid, dealing cards at a casino just to survive. Now she had a career helping people. She had financial security. She had purpose. Riley was thriving. Her asthma was under control. She made straight A's in school. She talked about becoming a lawyer like Bethany, or a teacher like Devin, or maybe running a nonprofit like the center. "I want to help people," Riley said one night at dinner. "Like you do, Mommy." Cassandra hugged her tight. "You already help people, baby. Just by being kind. Just by being you." One evening in October, Cassandra received a call from Bethany. "Can you come to my office tomorrow? Michael wants to meet with everyone again." "Is something wrong?" "No, something very, very right." The next day, the core team gathered once more. Cassandra, Devin, Lynn, Lorraine, and several new staff members from the center. Jordan walked in carrying a folder. He was smiling. "I wanted to share some numbers with you," he began. "In 6 months, the Second Chance Center has served over 500 families. We've helped people save more than $2 million through financial counseling. We've supported 87 people through gambling addiction recovery, and 63 of them are still clean." The room broke into applause. "But here's what really matters," Jordan continued. "We've received over 10,000 letters from people whose lives we've changed, from families we've helped, from kids who learned to think critically." He pulled out a letter and read it aloud. "Dear Mr. Jordan and everyone at the Second Chance Center, my name is Carlos. 6 months ago, I was addicted to gambling. I'd lost everything, my job, my savings, nearly my family. I walked into your center with my wife, Maria, because we had nowhere else to turn. Today, I'm 6 months clean. I have a new job. My marriage is stronger than ever. My children don't cry anymore when I come home. You saved my life. But more than that, you gave me back my family. Thank you will never be enough, but thank you. Forever grateful, Carlos and Maria Rodriguez." Jordan's voice cracked slightly at the end. He set the letter down. "That's why we did this. Not for headlines, not for revenge on a casino, but for Carlos and Maria, for the grandfather who rebuilt his retirement, for the widow who found community, for every single person who needed a second chance." He looked around the room. "You all made this possible. Your courage, your testimony, your hard work. This center is changing lives because you were willing to stand up." Cassandra raised her hand. "Can I say something?" Jordan nodded. "A year ago, I was scared all the time. Scared of losing my job. Scared of not being able to care for my daughter. Scared of everything. Then you whispered to me at that blackjack table, 'Remember what happened here tonight. I will.' I didn't know what you meant, but now I do." She stood up, her voice strong. "You turned humiliation into power. You turned discrimination into justice. You turned anger into help. And you showed all of us that we could do the same. You gave us second chances, and now we're giving them to others. That's the real victory. Not the money, not the verdict. This, right here, changing lives. Everyone in the room stood and applauded. Jordan smiled, that real smile. The one that came from deep inside. Thank you, Cassandra. Thank you all. As the meeting ended, Jordan pulled Cassandra aside. How's Riley doing? He asked. She's wonderful. She talks about you all the time. Her hero who stands up for people. She's got a pretty heroic mom too, you know. Cassandra blushed. I just did what was right. Exactly. And that's the hardest thing to do. Jordan paused. I want you to know something. The Golden Palace closing, the industry changing its policies, the 500 families we've helped, none of that happens without you. You were the one who stood on that witness stand and told the truth, even when you were terrified. You gave me the courage to do it. No, you already had the courage. I just gave you the opportunity to use it. He handed her an envelope. What's this? Open it later. When you're alone. That night after Riley went to bed, Cassandra opened the envelope. Inside was a letter handwritten by Michael Jordan. Dear Cassandra, when I sat down at your blackjack table a year ago, I had no idea that night would change so many lives, including mine. You dealt me cards fairly, you treated me with respect, and when the casino tried to silence you, you found your voice anyway. You're braver than you know, stronger than you realize, and you've made a bigger difference than you can imagine. I'm honored to know you. I'm grateful you took a chance on me when I asked for your help. And I'm proud to work alongside you at the Second Chance Center. Keep changing lives. Keep being brave. Keep showing your daughter what real courage looks like. The world needs more people like you. With respect and admiration, Michael Jordan. Cassandra cried reading it. Not sad tears. Happy tears. Proud tears. She'd done it. She'd really done it. From terrified dealer to community leader. From struggling single mother to change maker. All because one night she'd chosen to remember what happened. And she'd chosen to stand up. The ripple effect of that one choice was still spreading. Across Atlantic City, across the country, changing lives, creating hope, proving that justice eventually always finds a way to win. But Michael Jordan had one more move to make. 1 year after being banned from the Golden Palace Casino, Jordan called a special press conference. The invitation went out to major news networks, sports journalists, and community leaders across Atlantic City. The location? The Second Chance Center. Cassandra arrived early that morning to help set up. The main assembly room was filled with chairs facing a small stage. Cameras lined the back wall. Reporters checked their equipment and whispered excitedly. Do you know what this is about? Devin asked Cassandra. No idea. Bethany said it was important, but she wouldn't give details. Lynn walked over, looking nervous. There are rumors online. People think he's going to announce something big about casino reform nationwide. Lorraine joined them. Whatever it is, you know Jordan. He doesn't do anything small. At exactly 10 o'clock, Michael Jordan walked onto the stage. He wore a navy blue suit and looked calm, confident, powerful. Bethany stood beside him, along with several people Cassandra didn't recognize. Lawyers, business people, officials in expensive suits. Jordan stepped to the microphone. The room went silent. Good morning. Thank you all for coming. 1 year ago today, I was banned from the Golden Palace Casino. Not for cheating, not for breaking rules, but for winning and for being black. He paused, letting the words sink in. What happened that night could have ended there. I could have walked away angry, forgotten about it, moved on with my life. But I didn't, because I realized something important. What happened to me happens to people every single day. People without my money, without my lawyers, without my platform. Jordan gestured to the room around him. This center exists because of that realization. In 1 year, we've helped over 500 families. We've provided free counseling, job training, financial education, and hope to people who desperately needed it. That's something to be proud of. Applause filled the room. Cassandra felt tears already forming. The lawsuit we won resulted in a $5 million settlement that funded this center. It forced the Golden Palace to close its gambling operations. It inspired policy changes at casinos across the country. Those are victories. Jordan's expression turned serious. But they're not enough, because the problem is bigger than one casino. It's systemic. Across America, casinos make billions of dollars from people who can't afford to lose. They design every detail, the lights, the sounds, the layout, to keep people gambling. They target vulnerable communities. They profit from addiction. He pulled out a document and held it up. Today, I'm announcing the Jordan Fair Gaming Initiative. Working with legislators in 15 states, we're proposing new laws to protect gamblers and hold casinos accountable. The reporters leaned forward, cameras flashing. First, casinos will be required to provide clear, visible information about the actual odds of every game. No more hiding the house edge. No more misleading advertising. Bethany stepped forward and explained. Studies show most gamblers don't understand how unlikely they are to win. This transparency requirement will change that, Jordan continued. Second, casinos must offer free on-site counseling for anyone showing signs of gambling addiction, and they must train all employees to recognize those signs. He gestured to Lorraine. Ms. Lorraine Mitchell, who worked in casinos for 15 years, helped design this training program. She knows what to look for. Lorraine stood, and the cameras turned to her. She looked proud and strong. Third, Jordan said, casinos will be prohibited from targeting advertising to low-income neighborhoods. No more predatory marketing to people who can least afford to lose. A reporter raised her hand. Mr. Jordan, won't casinos fight this? Of course they will. They'll say it hurts their business. They'll lobby against it. They'll spend millions trying to stop these reforms. Jordan smiled. But I'm prepared to spend millions fighting for them. And I have something they don't. The support of communities across this country who are tired of being exploited. He pulled out another document. I'm also announcing the creation of a national network, second chance centers in 10 cities over the next 5 years. Atlanta, Chicago, Detroit, Los Angeles, and more. Each center will provide the same free services we offer here. Counseling, education, support. The room erupted in applause and questions. How will you fund 10 centers? Where's the money coming from? What's the total cost? Jordan raised his hand for quiet. I'm committing $100 million of my own money over the next decade. Additionally, I'm partnering with other athletes, celebrities, and business leaders who believe in this cause. We've already secured commitments for another $50 million. Cassandra's jaw dropped. $150 million to help people like her, people like Maria and Carlos, people struggling with addiction and poverty. But here's what I want everyone to understand, Jordan said, his voice passionate now. This isn't charity. This is justice. Casinos have taken billions from communities, especially Black and brown communities, for decades. It's time they gave something back. It's time the game was fair. He paused, then delivered his final point. And there's one more thing. The Golden Palace Casino building? The one that's being sold and converted to a hotel? Everyone leaned forward. I bought it. The room exploded. Reporters shouted questions. Cameras flashed like lightning. Jordan waited for silence, then continued. I purchased the Golden Palace property for $42 million, and I'm converting it into the flagship Second Chance Center, the largest facility of its kind in the country. 400,000 square feet dedicated to helping families rebuild their lives. Cassandra couldn't believe what she was hearing. Jordan had bought the casino. The place that tried to humiliate him, the place that discriminated against hundreds of people, he was turning it into a center for healing. The new facility will include expanded counseling services, a full medical clinic, a job training center, a daycare for 200 children, a community college satellite campus, and affordable housing for 50 families in recovery. He looked directly at the cameras. The Golden Palace tried to kick me out because I won too much. My response? I bought the whole building. And now, instead of taking money from vulnerable people, it will give back to them. That's the ultimate victory. The room erupted in applause. People stood. Reporters scribbled frantically. This was the story of the year, maybe the decade. A reporter from ESPN asked, Mr. Jordan, what's the total cost to the casino from your actions? Between lost revenue, lawsuits, the sale, everything? Jordan thought for a moment. The Golden Palace lost over $30 million in revenue after the discrimination became public. Legal fees and settlements cost them another $20 million. They sold the building to me for $42 million, which was well below market value because their reputation was destroyed. Add in the restructuring cost for the parent company, the class action lawsuit still pending, and the ripple effect on their other properties. Conservative estimates put the total cost at over $200 million. He let that number hang in the air. $200 million. Because they banned one customer for winning fairly. Because they discriminated. Because they thought they were untouchable. Jordan's eyes were fierce. They learned otherwise. After the press conference, Cassandra found Jordan in a quiet hallway. He was talking with Bethany and the other lawyers, but he saw her and smiled. Cassandra, what did you think? I think... She struggled to find words. I think you're changing the world. Jordan shook his head. We're changing the world. You, me, Devin, Lynn, Lorraine. Everyone who had the courage to stand up. I just have the resources to make it bigger. $100 million of your own money, Cassandra said. That's incredible. Money is just paper, Jordan said simply. What matters is what you do with it. I made my fortune because I was good at basketball. Pure luck, really. Being born with certain gifts. The least I can do is use that fortune to help people who weren't as lucky. Bethany stepped forward. Cassandra, we want you to be part of the expansion. We're looking for a national director of community outreach. Someone who understands the mission, someone who's lived the struggle, someone people trust. Cassandra's eyes widened. National director? But I've only been doing this for a year. And in that year, you've helped over 200 families personally, Bethany said. You've built relationships with community leaders, schools, churches. You understand what people need because you've needed it yourself. You're perfect for this. The salary would be $90,000, Jordan added, plus travel expenses, full benefits, and the opportunity to shape how we help people across the country. $90,000. Cassandra had never imagined making that kind of money. It was more than her mother had made in 2 years working at the textile factory. I don't know what to say. Say yes, Devin said, walking up behind her. Say yes because you deserve it, because you're amazing at this, because people need you. Lynn and Lorraine appeared too. We already talked about it, Lynn said. If you take the national position, I'll become director here in Atlantic City. Lorraine will be associate director. Devin will expand the education programs. We've got this covered. Cassandra looked at their faces. These people who'd become her family, who'd stood together against injustice, who'd built something beautiful from something painful. Okay, she said, tears streaming down her face. Yes, I'll do it. They hugged her, all of them together. A circle of strength and hope. That evening, Cassandra picked up Riley from school. They drove to their favorite spot, a bench overlooking the ocean. The sun was setting, painting the sky orange and pink. Mommy, everyone at school was talking about Mr. Jordan, Riley said. They said he bought a whole casino. He did, baby. And he's turning it into a place to help people. That's so cool. Riley was quiet for a moment, swinging her legs. Mommy, can I ask you something? Anything. Do you think Daddy would be proud of you? Cassandra's breath caught. She thought about Marcus, about the man who'd loved her so completely, who'd worked so hard for their family, who'd taught her to be brave. Yes, she said softly. I think he'd be very proud. I'm proud of you too, Riley said. You're like a superhero. You help people. You stand up to bad guys and you never give up. Cassandra pulled her daughter close. You know what makes someone a real superhero? What? Doing the right thing even when you're scared, even when it's hard, even when no one's watching. That's what real courage is. Like you did. Like we all did. Mr. Jordan, Devin, Lynn, Lorraine, Bethany, we all chose to stand up together. That's the secret, baby. You're never as strong alone as you are together. They sat in comfortable silence, watching the waves crash against the shore. 1 year ago, Cassandra had been dealing cards at the Golden Palace, terrified and struggling. Now she was a national director, helping build a network of centers across the country. 1 year ago, Michael Jordan had been kicked out of a casino for winning. Now he owned that casino and was transforming it into a beacon of hope. 1 year ago, they'd all been separate people with separate problems. Now they were a movement. The news coverage over the next few days was enormous. Jordan's announcement dominated headlines everywhere. Michael Jordan buys casino that banned him, converts it to community center. Jordan commits $100 million to combat gambling addiction. From blackjack table to social justice. The Michael Jordan story you haven't heard. But the most important coverage came from local Atlantic City news. They interviewed families helped by the center. Maria and Carlos told their story. 6 months clean, marriage stronger, kids happy. The Second Chance Center saved our family, Maria said, crying on camera. The grandfather who'd rebuilt his retirement. The widow who'd found community. The college student who'd graduated. The kids learning critical thinking from Devin's classes. Story after story of lives transformed. And at the end of each story, the same message. This exists because Michael Jordan got banned from a casino and decided to fight back. Within weeks, other states began considering similar legislation. Casinos in Nevada announced voluntary transparency measures. Gaming commissions across the country started reviewing their discrimination policies. The ripple effect continued spreading. 3 months after Jordan's announcement, Cassandra traveled to Chicago to help open the Second Chance Center, then Atlanta, then Detroit. Each city welcomed her like a hero. Each community desperately needed the services. Each center helped hundreds of families in its first months. Riley came with her sometimes during school breaks. She saw her mother speak to crowds, saw her cut ribbons at grand openings, saw her hug crying families and promise them things would get better. My mommy helps people, Riley told a reporter in Detroit. She's the bravest person I know. That quote made national news. 2 years after being banned from the Golden Palace, Michael Jordan stood on the steps of the converted casino, now the flagship Second Chance Center. The building looked completely different. The garish casino lights were gone, replaced by warm, welcoming illumination. The entrance that once promised riches now promised help. The lobby that once took money now gave hope. Jordan cut the ribbon alongside Cassandra, Devin, Lynn, Lorraine, and dozens of families who'd been helped by the center. This building used to represent exploitation, Jordan said. It took from people who couldn't afford to lose. It discriminated. It hurt communities. Today it represents something else: redemption, recovery, and second chances. He looked at Cassandra. None of this happens without brave people willing to tell the truth. Cassandra Hayes dealt me cards honestly one night. Then she testified honestly in court, even though she was terrified. That honesty changed everything. So thank you, Cassandra. Thank you for your courage. The crowd applauded. Cassandra wiped tears from her eyes. Inside the new center, a wall displayed photos and stories of the people they'd helped. Over 2,000 families in 2 years. Thousands of lives changed. One photo showed Maria and Carlos with their children, all smiling. Another showed the grandfather surrounded by his grandchildren. Another showed the widow in the garden, holding flowers she'd grown. And in the center of the wall, one photo stood out, a picture from that night at the blackjack table. Cassandra dealing cards to Michael Jordan, both unaware that this moment would change everything. Below the photo, a quote, "Justice doesn't always come quickly, but it always comes eventually. And when it does, it changes everything." Michael Jordan Cassandra stood in front of that wall, remembering the fear she'd felt, the courage she'd found, the journey from there to here. Riley tugged her hand. "Mommy, look at all these people you helped." "We helped," Cassandra corrected. "So many people working together." "Do you think you'll help more?" Cassandra smiled. "Yes, baby, so many more. We're just getting started." Because that was the truth. The Second Chance Center network was growing. The legislation was passing. The casino industry was changing. All because one man got banned for winning. All because he decided to fight back. All because regular people found the courage to stand with him. The Golden Palace had tried to silence Michael Jordan. Instead, they'd awakened a movement. They'd tried to protect their profits. Instead, they'd lost over $200 million in their entire reputation. They'd tried to maintain their power. Instead, they'd lost everything. And in the place where they once exploited people, now stood a center dedicated to healing them. That was justice, real justice. The kind that doesn't just punish the guilty, but helps the innocent rebuild. The kind that transforms pain into purpose. The kind that proves, once and for all, that standing up matters, that telling the truth matters, that one person, or 5 people, or 500 people can change the world, if they're just brave enough to try. 5 years passed, 5 years of growth, change, and transformation that nobody could have predicted that hot August night when Michael Jordan sat down at Cassandra's blackjack table. It was a sunny afternoon in May when Cassandra returned to Atlantic City. She'd been traveling constantly, overseeing the national network of second chance centers, speaking at conferences, training new staff, helping communities across America. The network had grown beyond anyone's wildest dreams. 23 centers now operated in cities from coast to coast, each one filled with people seeking help, each one changing lives. But today, Cassandra was home, and she had something important to do. She picked up Riley from school. Her daughter was now 12 years old, taller, more confident, but still with those same bright, curious eyes. "Where are we going, Mom?" Riley asked as they drove through Atlantic City. "You'll see." They pulled up to the flagship Second Chance Center, the building that used to be the Golden Palace Casino, the place where this entire journey began. Inside, the main assembly hall was packed. Cassandra saw familiar faces everywhere. Devin, now the National Director of Education, coordinating programs across all 23 centers. Lynn, running financial literacy programs that had helped over 10,000 families. Lorraine, training hundreds of counselors in the techniques she'd developed. Maria and Carlos were there too, with their children. Carlos had been clean for 5 years. He now worked as a peer counselor at the center, helping other people struggling with addiction. "Carlos helps me every day," a young man told Cassandra. "He understands what I'm going through because he's been there." The widow from the first day, her name was Dorothy, sat in the front row. At 78 years old, she volunteered at the center every single day. The garden she'd started had expanded into a full urban farm that provided fresh vegetables to low-income families. "Gardening saved my life," Dorothy told a reporter once. "And now those gardens feed hundreds of people. That's what second chances look like." Bethany Chen stood near the stage, still sharp in her gray suit, still fighting for justice. She'd taken on dozens of discrimination cases inspired by the Jordan lawsuit. She'd won most of them. "You taught me that standing up to power works," Bethany told Cassandra. "I've been doing it ever since." At exactly 3 o'clock, Michael Jordan walked onto the stage. Now 57 years old, he looked distinguished, powerful, purposeful. He'd spent 5 years building this network, fighting for reform, changing the gambling industry. The crowd stood and applauded. Jordan smiled and gestured for quiet. "Thank you all for coming. 5 years ago, I called a press conference in this very room, back when most of you thought I was crazy for buying a casino just to convert it into a community center." Laughter rippled through the audience. "Today, I want to share what we've accomplished together, because make no mistake, this was never about me. This was always about us." He pulled out a document, but this time it wasn't a legal brief or a policy proposal. It was a simple list. In 5 years, the Second Chance Center network has served over 15,000 families. We've helped 8,000 people recover from gambling addiction. We've provided job training to 12,000 individuals. We've offered free childcare to 6,000 children while their parents rebuilt their lives. The numbers were staggering. Cassandra felt tears forming again. After 5 years, she still cried at moments like this. "Our education programs have reached over 50,000 students," Jordan continued, "teaching them critical thinking, financial literacy, and how to recognize manipulation. Those kids will grow up making smarter choices than their parents had the opportunity to make." Devin stood and waved. The crowd applauded him. "But the impact goes beyond our centers," Jordan said. "The Jordan Fair Gaming Initiative has now passed in 28 states. Casinos are required to display real odds. They must provide free on-site counseling. They can't target vulnerable communities with predatory advertising. These laws protect millions of people." He paused, his voice growing more emotional. And here's what I want you to understand about why this matters. The gambling industry makes $130 billion a year in America. Most of that money comes from people who can't afford to lose, people struggling with addiction, people in low-income communities. For decades, casinos have taken and taken and taken. Finally, we're making them give something back. The crowd erupted in applause. Jordan raised his hand for quiet. I want to introduce some special guests today, people whose stories show exactly why this work matters. A young woman walked onto the stage. She looked nervous but determined. "This is Jasmine," Jordan said. 5 years ago, Jasmine's mother died from a gambling addiction. She'd lost everything. Their home, their savings, their family relationships. Jasmine was 17 alone and terrified. Jasmine took the microphone. Her voice was soft but steady. "I came to the Second Chance Center because I had nowhere else to go. I was angry at my mom, angry at the casino that took her money, angry at the world. But Cassandra," she looked at Cassandra in the audience, "she listened to me. She didn't judge my mom. She didn't judge me. She just helped." Tears streamed down Jasmine's face. "The center gave me counseling. They helped me apply for college. They gave me a part-time job. And most importantly, they taught me that my mom's addiction wasn't her fault. The system was designed to exploit her. Now I'm in my 3rd year of college, studying social work. And when I graduate, I'm coming back here to help other kids like me." The audience stood and applauded. Cassandra was openly crying now. Another man walked onto the stage. He was in his 60s, black, wearing a nice suit. "This is Robert," Jordan said. "Robert's story connects directly to why we started all of this." Robert took the microphone. 10 years ago, I was banned from the Golden Palace Casino. I'm a retired accountant. I enjoy playing blackjack, and I'm good at it because I understand numbers. But I'm also black. And apparently, being black and good at blackjack was too much for the Golden Palace." He smiled bitterly. "They banned me, humiliated me in front of my friends, called security like I was a criminal. I was so ashamed, I never told anyone. I just accepted it and moved on. But then I saw Mr. Jordan's lawsuit on the news. I saw Cassandra and Devin and Lynn testifying, and I realized I wasn't alone. This happened to dozens of us." Robert's voice grew stronger. "I joined the class action lawsuit. I received my settlement. But more than that, I received validation. Proof that I wasn't crazy. Proof that what they did was wrong. Today, I volunteer at this center teaching financial planning. And every person I help is a victory over the casino that tried to silence me." More people came onto the stage, each with their own story. Each connected to the Golden Palace's discrimination. Each finding healing and purpose through the center. An Asian woman who'd been banned from playing poker. A Latino man who'd been profiled and harassed by casino security. A black woman who'd been falsely accused of cheating. All of them had been hurt by the same system. All of them had found justice and healing together. Finally, Jordan called Cassandra to the stage. She walked up slowly, her heart pounding. Riley stood and cheered for her mother. The entire crowd joined in. Jordan hugged her. 5 years ago, Cassandra Hayes was a struggling, single mother dealing cards to survive. Today, she's the National Director of Community Outreach for the largest gambling addiction recovery network in America. She's helped thousands of families. She's trained hundreds of staff members. She's become a national advocate for vulnerable communities. He turned to face her directly. "And none of it, happens without your courage. You had everything to lose and you testified anyway. You stood up when it would have been so much easier to stay silent. You changed the world, Cassandra." Cassandra took the microphone, her hands shaking. "I didn't change the world," she said softly. "We all did. Together. Michael gave us the platform. Bethany gave us the legal strategy. Devin, Lynn, and Lorraine gave us their expertise and their stories. And thousands of families gave us their trust." She looked out at the audience. So many faces she recognized. So many lives transformed. 5 years ago, I was terrified. I had $250 in my bank account and a daughter who needed medicine I couldn't afford. I dealt cards because it was all I could do. When Mr. Jordan sat at my table that night, I had no idea my life was about to change. Her voice grew stronger. "But here's what I've learned in these 5 years. Change doesn't happen because of one person. It happens because ordinary people make brave choices. Carlos chose to get help for his addiction. Maria chose to fight for her family. Dorothy chose to plant a garden instead of giving up. Robert chose to speak his truth even after 10 years of silence. And I chose to testify, even though I was terrified. She looked at Riley in the audience. My daughter asked me once if doing the right thing was worth it when it's scary. The answer is yes, always yes. Because every time one person stands up, they make it easier for the next person, and the next, and the next. Until standing up becomes normal, until justice becomes expected, until the world actually changes. The crowd rose to their feet, applauding. Cassandra continued through tears. The Golden Palace Casino tried to silence us. They tried to keep us afraid. They tried to maintain their power by pushing us down. But they failed. They lost over $200 million. They lost their building. They lost their reputation. They lost everything. And we gained our voices. Jordan stepped forward and put his arm around Cassandra's shoulders. She's right, he said. The true cost to the Golden Palace wasn't measured in dollars. It was measured in power. They had all the power, the money, the lawyers, the connections, the ability to ban whoever they wanted. And we took that power away, not with violence, not with destruction, but with truth, with courage, with community. He addressed the crowd directly. Today, I want to make one final announcement. The Jordan Fair Gaming Initiative is expanding internationally. We're working with legislators in Canada, the United Kingdom, and Australia to implement similar protections. We're partnering with the World Health Organization to address gambling addiction as a global health crisis, and we're establishing an endowment, $500 million, to ensure the Second Chance Centers continue operating forever. The room gasped. $500 million. This endowment will be managed by a board that includes Cassandra, Devin, Lynn, Lorraine, and community leaders from each city where we operate. It will ensure that long after I'm gone, these centers continue helping people. That's my final move. That's how we make this permanent. After the announcement, reporters surrounded Jordan with questions. Mr. Jordan, when you add up everything, your personal contributions, the endowment, the lost casino revenue, the industry-wide changes, what's the total economic impact of your response to being banned? Jordan thought carefully. Conservative estimates? The Golden Palace itself lost over $200 million. The broader gambling industry has spent over $1 billion complying with new regulations. My personal contributions in the endowment total $650 million. So we're talking about nearly $2 billion in total economic impact. He smiled. They kicked me out for winning $93,000. My response cost them $2 billion. I'd say that's a pretty good return on investment. Do you have any regrets? Not one. Every dollar spent, every hour invested, every bit of energy, it was all worth it. Because we didn't just punish the casino, we helped people, we changed systems, we made the world a little bit fairer. What do you want your legacy to be? Jordan paused. Most people know me as a basketball player. 6 championships, 5 MVPs, all of that. And I'm proud of those accomplishments. But if I'm being honest, 20 years from now, I hope people remember this more than the championships. I hope they remember that when I had the chance to use my platform for something meaningful, I did. I hope they remember the Second Chance Centers. I hope they remember the families we helped. That's the legacy I want. That evening, after the ceremonies and speeches and celebrations, Cassandra sat with Riley on their favorite bench overlooking the ocean. The sun was setting, just like it had been 5 years ago when this journey began. Mom, can I ask you something? Riley said. Always. What was the scariest moment in all of this? Cassandra thought carefully. Honestly, walking into that courtroom to testify, my hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold the Bible when I swore to tell the truth. I thought I might throw up. I thought I might pass out. I was absolutely terrified. But you did it anyway. I did it anyway, because being scared doesn't mean you're weak. It means you understand the stakes. And sometimes the things worth doing are the things that scare us most. Riley was quiet for a moment. I want to be like you when I grow up. Like me? Yeah, brave, strong, someone who stands up for people who can't stand up for themselves. Cassandra pulled her daughter close. You already are those things, baby. You were 8 years old when this started, and you never once complained about all the changes in our lives. You supported me through everything. You're braver than you know." They sat in comfortable silence, watching the waves. "Do you ever think about Daddy?" Riley asked. "Every day. I think he'd be so proud of both of us." "I think so too. I think he's watching, and I think he's smiling." Cassandra felt tears slide down her cheeks. "Me too, baby. Me too." The next morning, Cassandra received a letter in the mail. The return address simply said MJ. She opened it carefully. Inside was a handwritten note on simple white paper. "Dear Cassandra, 5 years ago, I whispered 7 words to you at a blackjack table. Remember what happened here tonight? I will. I kept that promise. But more importantly, so did you. You remembered the discrimination. You remembered the injustice. You remembered how it felt to be powerless. And then you turned that memory into action. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for your testimony. Thank you for your compassion. Thank you for showing the world what real strength looks like. The Second Chance Centers bear my name, but they exist because of people like you. People brave enough to stand up. People kind enough to help others. People who turn pain into purpose. I'm honored to know you. I'm grateful to work alongside you. And I'm inspired by the mother you are to Riley. Keep changing the world, Cassandra. You're better at it than I ever was at basketball." With deep respect and admiration, Michael. Cassandra read the letter 3 times, crying through each reading. She thought about that night 5 years ago, standing at her blackjack table, terrified about Riley's medicine, worried about rent, struggling to survive. She thought about Jordan whispering those words. She thought about the choice she'd made to testify, to stand up, to be brave. And she thought about everything that had come from that one choice. 15,000 families helped, 8,000 people in recovery, 12,000 jobs provided, 50,000 students educated, 28 states with new protections, 23 centers operating nationwide, a $500 million endowment ensuring the work continues forever. All because a casino banned Michael Jordan. All because he decided to fight back. All because ordinary people found extraordinary courage. The true cost to the Golden Palace Casino wasn't just $200 million in direct losses. It wasn't just the $1 billion the industry spent complying with new regulations. It wasn't even the building itself, converted from a place of exploitation to a place of healing. The true cost was their belief that they were untouchable, their assumption that power meant they could hurt people without consequences, their certainty that regular people would stay silent. They lost all of that, forever, and in its place grew something beautiful, something powerful, something that would outlast any casino, any lawsuit, any single person. A movement, a community, a proof that justice eventually always wins. Cassandra folded the letter carefully and placed it in her desk drawer, next to the first letter Jordan had written her 5 years ago. 2 letters, 2 moments, 2 pieces of a journey that transformed her life and the lives of thousands of others. She looked out her window at Atlantic City, the same city she'd lived in for years, but different now, better now. The Golden Palace Casino was gone, replaced by a center of hope. Predatory gambling practices were restricted by new laws. Thousands of families had received second chances. And Cassandra Hayes, once a terrified single mother dealing cards to survive, was now a national leader helping change the world. She smiled, because sometimes the most extraordinary stories start with the simplest moments. A card dealer, a basketball legend, a casino ban, a whispered promise, a choice to be brave. And from those simple moments, everything changed. That was the true cost of banning Michael Jordan. Not 200 million, not even 2 billion. The true cost was learning that when you push people down, sometimes they stand up stronger. When you try to silence them, sometimes they speak louder. When you discriminate against them, sometimes they change the entire system. And when one person decides to fight back, sometimes they start a movement that transforms the world. Michael Jordan got banned from a casino for winning too much. His response cost the casino millions, but it gave the world something priceless. Proof that standing up matters, that justice is possible, and that ordinary people doing extraordinary things can change everything. 5 years later, the movement continued. 10 years later, it would be even stronger. 20 years later, children who hadn't even been born yet would benefit from the work started that August night. And it all began with 7 whispered words and 1 brave choice. Remember what happened here tonight? I will. They both did, and the world was better for it. If this story of courage and justice inspired you, let us know where you're watching from in the comments below. Are you from Atlantic City, New York? Maybe somewhere across the world? Hit that like button to help spread this message of kindness and standing up for what's right. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another inspiring story that shows how ordinary people can do extraordinary things. There's another amazing story waiting for you right now on your screen. Click it and keep the inspiration going. Thanks for watching. And remember, you're braver than you think.